Laura joins us on the show this week. Laura, how's things getting on with yourself?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, not a bother. You made a very long trip to West Dublin today, didn't you?
I did. I took the bus up and then the bus out from the city. It was
Very
great.
good.
I got to read on the way. So.
Good stuff. And you found some very nice and friendly people on the way as well.
Yes, the people around Ballyfermot are very, very nice, I have to say. I was getting a bit lost and a lot of people directed me on the right path.
Oh, good stuff. So tell us, how did music begin for you? It obviously began at a very young age, did it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, since I was born, it's been music. I mean, I'm the youngest of 5 girls, and my older sisters were always singing, so of course I was singing as well. Mum would always have us up on the kitchen table for the visitors, you know, with the hairbrush singing, and I just got such a passion for it. I think when I first got my passion for arrangements and all that stuff was, we have a thing in Sligo called the Fesh. I don't know if you have that in Dublin as well. And my 2 sisters, Marie and Sinead, used to perform together duets. And I remember being about 3 or 4 years of age, just being like amazed at the sound of 2 voices together, that I got such a love for, you know, writing arrangements and making music as well as playing music. So that's where my passion came from.
Oh, that's absolutely amazing. And tell us, you're actually you're playing piano and guitar and writing your own songs and stuff. And how's that actually been going for you?
It's definitely going good. I would definitely recommend to play instruments if you're a songwriter, even if it's not to like an amazing standard. It definitely helps when writing songs. I mean, I have been playing piano since I was about 5 and guitar since I was about 10. And I also started playing violin when I was 10 as well. But when it comes to songwriting, it totally helps. You know, I would record, you know, both together, and then I'd put some violin lines over it, and it really helps develop your own sound. You know, you can mess with it and tweak it to make your own style.
And tell us a little bit about the track that we played there, Playground. You released that towards the end of last year.
We did, yeah. That was the first single off the EP, which is also called Playground. We released that worldwide. I was in LA at the time when we released it. The song was written about those awful guys that the minute you're in love with them, then they use that to hurt you, and then once you're kind of over them again and you're moving on, then they get in touch with you again and break your heart all over again. So that song is about them. Good riddance to you guys.
Oh, jeez. Thanks very much for saying that to guys.
No, to those guys.
To those guys. All right.
There's lots of lovely guys
all
out
right.
there, but
okay.
those player guys.
Okay, I got you. I totally get you. But anyway, tell us, you actually got singing then with your sisters then when you were really young. So tell us about the experiences of all that then.
We did. Well, I think there was one day that we were all just like sitting around the table, and at the time I was about 10 or 11, I'd say, and you know, we just kind of broke into harmony, and you know, the sound was amazing with the 4 of us singing together. Mom and Dad and anyone that had heard us like, girls, you have to do something with that. So we released an album in 2004, and we toured with Westlife at that time as well. And 3 of our singles made top 10 in Ireland. And that was without any record label. You know, it was a lot of hard work. We had to tour the country up and down, but we got into the top 10. And then after that is when X Factor came. And that's when we stopped releasing stuff.
Oh, right. So you were totally solely independent and things were going really well and stuff. So how did you get in contact with Westlife to do a tour with them then?
Actually, we're from the same town as Shane, Cian and Mark, and we just drove out to their house one day with the single. It was actually, they were having the homecoming gig in Markovich Park in Sligo, and we drove out to their house. We said, please, will you listen to this and just let us perform on the Sligo concert? And they listened to it and they loved the single and they let us on. And then after that, Shane Filan asked us to sing at his wedding. So that was an amazing day to sing at his wedding. It was like a couple of days after Christmas. And after that, then they offered us a slot on their Irish tour. So it all just kind of developed.
So people actually knew about you guys before you did the X Factor then.
Yeah.
And what made you go and do X Factor then?
We kind of there's two ways to look at X Factor and those kind of shows. You can look at it as a thing that you chance, but also I think people that have got good record together and have all that stuff should also be allowed to go forward for something like that. Basically, it's like an A&R meeting, but it's just on television. So we just thought, maximum exposure, why not? Let's try it. And I had a gut feeling that we were going to get to the live finals. When I get those strong gut instincts, like, they usually work out. So I remember I found the application online, and I booked the Hilton Hotel in Belfast. I didn't even tell the girls about this. I just knew that we had to go and audition for the show, and we did, and we just kept getting through each round, and it was amazing. It was really amazing. But it was a great experience looking back. It was tough at the time. You have the best and the worst scenarios all in one go. But looking back, it was the best thing that ever happened to us.
And what were the judges like then on the show?
The judges... it's hard to tell. I mean, they're nice to you most of the time, but, to get to their level of success, you have to be a bit ruthless. And I understand that now. I understand that now more than back then, because I've seen different areas of the business, and if you're too nice, you'll get trampled on. So I can see where that came from. Simon Cowell, if you take away his money and his fake tan and teeth and all that stuff, he's just kind of a weird old guy. You know what I mean? But my favourite of all the judges is actually Louis Walsh. I think he's got a wonderful ear for good songs and good talent. And all those songs that Westlife had and Boyzone had, he just has an ear for hit songs. And he's actually a really down-to-earth guy. Sharon Osbourne, very nice, but you don't want to get on the wrong side of Sharon Osbourne, ever. So all those people, they're nice, but just... they can be ruthless as well.
Yeah, it's because they're at the top end of the business, isn't it, really?
Yeah,
I think
they had to become that way to get there, so they just are used to it.
I totally get it, yeah. So what are your sisters doing now?
Sharon is just releasing her EP at the moment in Sligo. It's kind of more country. She went out to Nashville and recorded. It's a great EP. They're all her own original material. Marie she's almost a lawyer now. I think she's got just a couple of exams. She's got her law degree and all that, but she's got a band in Sligo as well. And Sinead has about 10 different bands at the minute. She's in the Dublin Gospel Choir. She's in the DIT Big Band. She's got about 3 of her own bands, and she's always booked out doing weddings and things like that. So we never get to see her anymore. She's so busy.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
So basically they've kind of got into some sort of music and slightly management side of things as well, have they?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think we all kind of took a step back out of music after the X Factor. After the X Factor tour, we all took like a year of just, we had too much of music. I went back and I did my Leaving Cert because I was a school dropout when I was 15 to go on the Westlife tour and all that. But I had a couple of bad experiences once the band had broken up with people in the music industry. That made me think, knowledge is power. So I knew I had to go back to school and get educated. And I forgot about music for a while. Thought I wanted to become a doctor. Then at the end, when I was doing the actual exams, I got my passion back for music again and started giving it another try.
She's fair play to you. You've been brave anyway.
Oh, you have to be. It's definitely been tough, and I decided that, to overcome everything that happened with X Factor and everything, I needed to go to a place that was totally new, that didn't know about X Factor. So I said it'll have to be America. And I just chose LA because there's beaches. And I went to school out there, and, it's been great ever since. Everything that I've done out there has led me to another contact, and it's all worked out really well. And that's how I got my EP recorded and released.
Well, that's brilliant stuff. So you learned school out there as well, and then you actually took on music then as well. Did you just study music and stuff then?
Yeah, I went to Musicians Institute on Hollywood Boulevard, and I did a course called the Independent Artist Program, and I learned all about music production, making the covers of your CD. I learned all about the music business, music publishing, licensing, all that stuff. Because I just think in the current climate in an industry like that, you really need to know your stuff, because they'll exploit you. Especially when you're a blonde girl, people will look at you, she doesn't know, we can make a bit of money out of her, So I think it's really important to know as much as you can. And that's what I did going out there, and it worked. It worked. The more I learn, the further I go.
Well, you certainly have learned a lot from what you've said anyway. Just tell us, what's the experience been like being in America?
It's different. I didn't know anybody when I went out there. It was scary at first. Like, I knew nobody, and it's a very different culture out there. You really have to watch your back. A lot of people will try and take advantage if they know that you don't know the area and that kind of stuff. But I went through experiences that made me tougher, and you learn about the place quick, and it got good in the end. It definitely got good. There's definitely a lot of opportunity out there, especially for musicians. I think it's a great place to go for a musician, especially from Ireland. They really do like Irish people out there. I think we have a bit of charm about us, or something that seems to work out there.
Yeah, it seems to, or something. I don't know what it is, but anyway. So you've made a few friends out there now, have you, and stuff?
Yeah, I have a lot of friends out there now, and a lot of people I went to school with and have worked with and played music with, and just people you meet in general. It's a great place to meet new people, because everyone that goes to LA and the Hollywood area, they're all coming from different places, so they're all in the same boat, and they're all looking to make new friends and all that as well. So there's plenty of people to become friends with over there.
Cool. And you're hoping to maybe go back to America later on in the year as well, eh?
Yeah. So the next step for me is to go back there, and I'll be working with movie composer Hans Zimmer. He scored the music for movies like Gladiator and The Lion King, and I also have some interest from a big management company over there, so I'll be putting together a showcase for them as well when I go back.
Yeah, you've a lot of projects and stuff coming up, don't you? You're going to be really
stressful.
busy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Just talk about how do you actually go about writing songs, and how do you get lyrics and music and stuff, and what do you do first, or how does that all come about for you?
Do you know what's the most important thing to me when I'm writing a song is I don't try. When I try too hard, it just doesn't happen. Sometimes like a hook or an idea will come into my head like when I'm least expecting it, like if I'm out for a run, or if I hear a noise that in a certain key that just starts me off. Another way that I would write as well is if I hear a good like catchphrase, or sometimes I look up like phrase finder or something, and I go through those, because good catchphrases are always good for hooks for songs. And other ways that I would write the more poppy songs is I would like recreate a beat when I'm producing music. I'd recreate a beat of like another song that I would like to write, like, and then I'd just make a whole new song over the beat, and that's how I do the more poppy stuff. But to me, the hook is the most important thing. And I've never written down a song in my life. I've never actually written on paper a song, because I think that the ones that stick in your head, they're the important ones. So I try to go with whatever stays in my head the longest.
Okay, so that's really interesting. You're obviously doing stuff on computer and producing different things on computers and things like Mac computers and stuff like that.
I definitely like to experiment, and try out new things. Mm-hmm. But I also like to try and keep as current as possible. Like I try to do what is on the radio at the moment, but I try to put my own stamp on it at the time.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And you're mentioning that you have acoustic songs, which you also have dance songs, so you're kind of maybe looking to explore the two avenues and see which way is going to work best, is it as well?
Yeah, I've just been trying like with that EP, we just decided to put it out there and just see what the response is. And you know, it's funny enough, I thought I'd get a better response for Playground than Take the Other Side, but Take the Other Side, I only put it up on YouTube there a couple of weeks ago, and every day it's doubling nearly in the amount of views. So people are coming back. I've actually found it in a couple of random people's playlists on YouTube now at the moment, so I was kind of surprised by that. So you just never know which one is going to strike a chord with people.
So do you see YouTube as kind of the new way to go with music and putting your stuff up there rather than making an actual physical record and going out and trying to sell that?
Definitely. I mean, the reason that I would record these days is for radio and is for the internet. Because unless you're selling records at your gigs, but I think it's throwing money down the drain now to try and get them sold in record shops. I mean, you don't make that money back. If you're trying to put a record out to record shops at the moment, especially for like new unsigned artists, you're basically saying goodbye to that money, because you're like, unless you happen to get on the Late Late Show or something like that where you get big sales the next day. But I just see it's all digital downloads now, and I mean, people get the music for free anyways now on the internet, so you know, I think where the money is for musicians at the moment, the most lucrative part of the business now is live performances, and that's what I would encourage people to focus on now, and then record for the likes of radio and the internet to promote your music and get people to your gigs. That's how I would look at it. Right.
And tell us, what have you played gigs and stuff recently, or what have you done lately?
Yeah, since I came home, I've been doing a couple of acoustic gigs. When I was in LA as well, I did a couple of shows. I actually had a couple of sellout shows over there, so that was pretty cool. I'm looking at putting together a club tour now, so that people can hear the full extent of the music in the songs. So that should be fun, and I'll have dancers and pyrotechnics and all that stuff. Yeah, so I'll be doing a bit of both, and I'll see which I get a better response for, and then maybe combine the two elements for one big show in the future, maybe.
Yeah, interesting experiment to go down anyway, for sure. Just in terms of, like, what is your actual opinion, like the Voice of Ireland stuff and that is on at the moment? What do you think of the competitions?
I think it's a tough one. I mean, it is great exposure for new artists as well, but it's very harsh as well. If you just get someone at the wrong moment, I mean, they're up there on television and they're kind of, you know, I mean, for the people involved in the television show, it's entertainment, but for the actual, like, a very talented person could go up and maybe nerves will get the better of them or something, and the performance doesn't go well, and then, you know, it's embarrassing for them, or, you know. But I think to go for a show like that, you have to be very, very strong. You know, you have to accept the fact that it might not go your way, and, you know, be willing to say, well, I'll try again some other way. You know, don't get too upset about it, and don't take it too seriously. You know, well, definitely practice for your performance, but if it doesn't work out, you know, it's not the end of the world. There's plenty of avenues and plenty of opportunities to make things happen.
Yeah, indeed, I know. I think everyone knows contestants, and we don't want them to take it to heart too much. But do try your best, and hopefully there's always going to be people supporting you and things like that as well.
Exactly. And just remember that on those shows, if you enter a show like that you know, a lot that they're doing for entertainment value. So don't take it personally if it doesn't go your way. Yeah.
Indeed. Tell us, apart from playing music and stuff, what do you actually like to do as hobbies?
I'm a glutton for punishment. I always sign up for, like, marathons and things like that. The next thing I've signed up for is Kilimanjaro in June. So I don't know what I get myself in for, so I have to climb and train all the time now. But I do enjoy it, you know. I enjoy challenges. That's one thing. I love reading. I love listening to music, anything with string arrangements in it. Yeah, I'm not into going out clubbing and drinking or any of that. I'm really not.
And what about sports then?
Yeah, running. I love running and power walking and climbing. When I was in LA, I used to love going to like Runyon Canyon. They call it hiking out there. I just call it walking, you know. But yeah, that kind of stuff.
And what music do you actually like to listen to then?
I used to try and answer this question, and then I finally found the real answer. It's anything with string arrangements. So I mean, it can be any style of music, it can be any person, but it's always things with strings. So like Elton John, he strings, Mozart. There's some Radiohead songs I love. It's just all across the board, but I'm obsessed with strings. Yeah.
So that's why you're into guitars and violins and
Yeah.
playing those instruments, because there's some nice string sounds coming out of it as well.
Exactly, and I love violins and cellos and all that stuff.
Indeed. Tell us, would yourself and the girls from your family, would you ever get back together to play a gig or to record anything or do anything?
It's funny. I'd say we would say no to that now, but I'd say in a couple of years, or not in a couple of years, but in a few years down the road when we all have kids and we're married and stuff, we'll probably throw an album together or something for fun, you know, because those harmonies will always be there. So, I mean, I'm sure we'll all come back to it.
And
I do miss it.
Yeah, I'm sure, because you probably have great memories of growing up and singing and performing with your sisters, and I think it's something special.
Absolutely. Actually, at one of the shows that I did out in LA, I was singing a song, Desperado, which was the song that got us through to the final of X Factor. And as I was performing it, I just had the flashback, and I started crying in the middle of the performance, that I just missed the girls and their harmonies, and, you know. So you never know, we might come back together someday.
Cool. And even though you were saying like your sisters are really busy working in bands and doing different things, do you get to see them much or anything?
Not as much as I'd like to, because they're all busy and doing things, and obviously I was away in America, but when we do get together, it's great, you know. We have a very close bond as sisters, you know.
Yeah.
But we always keep in touch. And
I'm sure you do, yeah. So tell us, what's your future plans now with the music? You're gonna be in Ireland for a little while and then go back to the States, and you're looking at these types of gigs and stuff as well, yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely I'm gonna be here definitely till June, anyways, and then I plan to go back to America and do the Hans Zimmer thing and focus on the showcase for the management company. But also, in the meantime, between now and June, I'm looking to cultivate some new Irish talent as well. I really want to see Irish musicians succeed, new artists. And actually, if you log on to my Facebook page, I'm going to have some exclusive information coming up in the next few weeks for anyone that's thinking of entering like X Factor or The Voice or anything like that, and also people that just in general, like bands or anyone that wants to make it in the music industry. I'm going to have something very special lined up. So if you log on to my Facebook page, facebook.com/Laura Conway Music, or my MySpace page, the same, myspace.com/Laura Conway Music, and I'll have updates on that in the next couple of weeks.
Great stuff, and we'll keep you posted as well on information that Laura's doing with projects and different things as well. So obviously you have the EP there. Are you hoping to maybe do another EP then somewhere down the road, or would you ever make an album or anything? I'm kind of thinking of maybe trying out London next. In between now and June, I have a couple of really good producers over there. I'm really looking around with different producers to get a very unique sound, so that's something I'm going to do over the next few months, and eventually I'll have an album. You know, I'm working my way up to a really good album. So great stuff indeed. Well, we're just about out of time here during the week here on West Dublin Access Radio 96 FM. Thanks, Laura, for making the trip to West Dublin today.
My pleasure. Thank you very much, and thank you very much to all your listeners as well.
No problem indeed.